The city of Baldur's Gate started off as a somewhat secluded harbor settlement that went by the name of Grey Harbor. This was a place where pirates and scavengers would often bring loot back to. One day, a seafaring hero named Balduran returned to Grey Harbor, bringing with him great wealth. And with this wealth, he ordered a granite wall to be built to protect his home. Balduran would set sail on another journey, never to return home, but the construction of the wall continued, and over time the city of Baldur's Gate was born. In today's video, I'm going to take you on a tour through the city of Baldur's Gate to help you prepare for your future journey with the official release of Baldur's Gate 3. I think most people would consider this video to be spoiler-free, but anything that comes close to treading that line, I'll be sure to speak very vaguely about. Thank you so much to all channel members and patrons that make videos like this possible. Let's jump on in. Baldur's Gate 3's Act 1 has players wandering around somewhere between the cities of Elturel and Baldur's Gate. How and when we arrive at the city of Baldur's Gate, I'm not entirely sure, nor do I know how much total access we'll have to the various parts of the city. Approaching the city from any direction on land, you'll find yourself traveling through Baldur's Gate's outer city. The outer city is basically the slums, and it's home to the poorest residents of the city. Even though the city's guard can enforce and protect this area, they don't seem to be too concerned with it. Taking into account that in Act 1 we're on the northern side of the Chianthar River, it seems plausible that if we do travel by land to the city, we may enter into the outer city for the first time from this road right here that Larian has on their own in-game map. This would likely bring us into either the Whitkeep neighborhood or So's Foot neighborhood, and then we would follow the road west to the Basilisk Gate. There's also a road coming into the outer city from the south of the river, where travelers will pass through the Rivington district, and a road coming in from the north through the Blackgate district, but this road is mostly for travelers coming from the northern city of Waterdeep. The southern road into the city is where travelers will have to cross Wyrms Crossing Bridge. In Chapter 5 of Baldur's Gate 1, this is the path that players will take. Do note that most of the Baldur's Gate 1 gameplay footage that I'm showing in this video is from YouTube channel Eltamar Gaming, who does a ton of CRPG Let's Play video series. Fantastic channel, I'll leave a link below in the video description. This bridge in present-day Forgotten Realms houses a number of structures and is basically a neighborhood of its own. And in the center of the bridge, supported by Wyrms Rock, there's a Flaming Fist fortress towering over the waters of the river. If we find ourselves here, be prepared to have a chat with the Flaming Fist, and probably be forced to pay up some gold. The blue-colored buildings in the outer city on Larian's map represent a neighborhood called Little Calimshan. This neighborhood stands out as it's actually protected by its own brick and plaster walls, and the buildings here are constructed in a distinct Kalishite style representing architecture from the desert nation of Calimshan to the far south. If we get the pleasure of visiting this unique neighborhood, we should expect to be visiting the Calim Jewel Emporium, which is one of the most well-regarded jeweler shops in the city. But keep in mind that this shop is also ran by the most prominent criminal organization in Baldur's Gate, known as the Guild. Many citizens of the outer city actually look to the Guild for protection in these rather lawless areas. If we travel towards the Basilisk Gate, the last neighborhood that we'll pass through, which is full of stables and stockyards, is called Stone Eyes, and it's noteworthy for having a large half-orc population. The Basilisk Gate is a gate and local landmark that's lined with a number of stone statues, particularly statues of prominent patriars of the city. This is how it got its name. The other two gates into the city itself are the Black Dragon Gate and Cliffgate, which serves as a passageway connecting the lower city to the outer city neighborhood of Tumbledown, which is bordered by large hills and cliffs. The interesting thing about Tumbledown is that it held a grand estate belonging to the Tsar family, but most of this family was murdered in the past, and their ghosts are said to now haunt the town of Tumbleweed. One family member still lives though, or actually I don't think lives is the correct term here, as I'm talking about the vampire lord Cazador Tsar. Those of you who have played Early Access may know of or faintly recall hearing about this particular family. I won't spoil how in this video, but I do want to say that I think it's quite possible that we may be visiting this haunted town in the full game. Back at the Basilisk Gate, if the Flaming Fist is kind enough to let us in here, we'll be entering into the city's lower city. Baldur's Gate not only has an outer city, but it also has an upper city and a lower city that are divided by a wall within the city itself. You can see this dividing wall very clearly in the BG3 announcement trailer. The majority of the buildings that you can see in this cinematic are part of the Lower City, which is the southern and eastern region. The Lower City serves as the city's mercantile hub, home to the docks, a variety of different businesses, temples, inns, and of course taverns. This portion of the city is patrolled by a powerful mercenary company called the Flaming Fist, and I would expect to be dealing with them quite a lot when we arrive at the city. The Upper City is home to the powerful and wealthy, and is protected and watched over by a force known as the Watch. The tower that you can see in this image is where the Upper City is located. Through the Basilisk Gate, you'll find yourself in the Eastway district of the Lower City, which is home to a well-known business that goes by the name of the Elfsong Tavern. This tavern is not only just in the original Baldur's Gate game, but it's also the tavern that you'll find yourself in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. The Elfsong Tavern is a 2-story building that many visit to conduct illicit business. And don't be surprised if you happen to hear a disembodied voice of a female elf filling the tavern with a melancholy song. This elven song is sung by the Elfsong Ghost, and she sings in hopes for a long-lost husband to return to the tavern after he went off to war. This tavern's proprietor is a half-elf named Alan Alith, and he also runs a money-lending business on the side. Other noteworthy places you might come across in the Eastway district include a 4-story inn called the Blade and Stars, an adventurer's shop called Eastway Expeditions, an academy by the name of Garmalt's House of Mastery, which is run by a former gladiator that specializes in improving combat skills. And down in the docks is a fest hall, tavern, and gambling place called the Low Lantern. The Low Lantern is unique in that it's actually a converted 3-mast ship, and it's ran by ex-pirates. I'm not exactly sure which ship it is in the BG3 announcement trailer, but I think it might be this one. If you're looking for some rather dangerous fun, this place can get quite rowdy at night. Just be careful, as its patrons often consist of pirates and thugs. It's suspected that the Lower Lantern's proprietor has heavy relations with the powerful criminal organization that we mentioned earlier, the Guild. Following the docks to the north, we'll come across Jopelin's, which is an upscale tea house ran by a neutral, evil half-elf thug named Jopelin. Jopelin likes to put sable moonflower leaves in his tea, which creates a subtle, slow-building addiction among those who drink it. If you find yourself addicted and want to take your anger out on Jopelin, just be careful, as his loft above the cafe is heavily booby-trapped. If we were to head south of the Eastway district, this would bring us into Brampton. Brampton features the Harborside Hospital and also Insight Park. You'll notice that the hospital is located very close to the gate to Tumbledown, where the cliffside cemeteries are, and also that the hospital is at one of the furthest points away from the wealthy Upper City. Following the wall to the south and passing Cliffgate, this will bring us to Insight Park, which is a magically created public park that was created by a shield dwarf named Toramesh. This park features a special tree that has the power to reveal prophecies underneath its bark. Would definitely be a neat place to visit in BG3. Heading north back through Eastway and into the Heapside district, we'll find ourselves in the first of many districts that border the Upper City. The building in the right corner of this district is run by a family of moon elves, and their business is called Candahallow's Funeral Arrangements. If you happen to see hand-drawn carts that look like they may be carrying bodies, these carts are likely being pushed by agents of the Candahallow business, and they're bringing bodies of those who have passed to the city's shrines or cemeteries. A necessary business, however, do note that this Moon Elf family has become unusually rich, and they're suspected to be involved in not only just smuggling contraband in quite gruesome ways, but also making deals with cultists and necromancers. A few blocks over is Sorcerous Sundries, which features one of the most popular magic shops in the city. Take a look at it in the original Baldur's Gate game. This building has a dome of stained glass roofs, and because of this, it's actually one of the easiest buildings to identify in the Baldur's Gate 3 cinematic trailer. This establishment is ran by a human mage named Rivelin, and although Rivelin is mostly neutral, his apprentice is a neutral evil rock gnome named Gilligan, who is a member of the guild. Be wary of making large transactions here, as Gilligan may track you after you make your purchase and ultimately jump you with a group of guild members. Further down the street is the Shrine of Suffering, which is a simple stone shrine to Ilmater, the god of suffering. This This church is ran by Brother Hodges, a Strongheart halfling priest, and his church serves as a place where the poor can come to get aid such as free meals. Underneath the shrine is a twisting series of crypts, and this is oftentimes the only place where the poor can afford to have a corpse buried on holy ground. To the east of the shrine is the infamous Blushing Mermaid, and pay close attention because this place is very likely to show up in Baldur's Gate 3, as it already does in the background of the announcement trailer. Keep in mind that for this video I'm referencing the Descent into Avernus map of Baldur's Gate. This is the most updated and present-day Forgotten Realms map of the city. If you look at the map of Baldur's Gate 1, you'll notice that several buildings, including the Blushing Mermaid, were in different locations back then. The Blushing Mermaid is known as the best tavern and inn in Baldur's Gate for those looking to get their teeth kicked in, or to kick in someone else's. As the Descent into Avernus module says, this place is always one spilled drink away from a brawl. Above the reception desk, you'll see a life-sized wooden mermaid, which has a dozen blackened and withered hands nailed to its body. These hands are souvenirs left by those who refuse to pay their bill. This establishment's criminal aspects are an open secret, as the Flaming Fist tends to leave it be due to its connections. In the bottom left corner of Heapside is Baldur's Mouth, which is the city's primary news service and gossip rag. The owner is Etvard Needle, a chaotic good human who started his business as a way to empower the poor through what he saw as the greatest weapon of social change: information. If we're able to visit Baldur's Mouth, this may serve as a great way to pick up some quests, as Needle is always looking to hire daring investigators. The gate into the upper city from Heapside is called Heapgate, but this is a Patriar gate, so you must be a Patriar, a servant of a Patriar, or a guest of a Patriar to be let through. The lower city district adjacent to Heapside is called the Steeps. One of the gates to the upper city in this district is called Baldur's Gate, and is the only public gate that allows the general public to get into the upper city. It comes with a catch though, as you'll either have to pay an entry fee or have a watch token, which are tokens issued by upper city residents or upper city inns. So basically, if you're poor, you can't get into the upper city unless you have connections. The other gate here is another Patriar gate called Gond Gate. The first building in the Steeps that you may come across is Felogir's Fireworks. Felogir's Fireworks is a 4-story stone structure that is constantly steaming of smoke of unusual colors from various chimneys. The owner is a human mage alchemist named Avery, and his family has a monopoly on smoke powder production in the city. This place could certainly tie into the story of Baldur's Gate 3. Situated along the water is the Counting House, which has been the center of trade in Baldur's Gate for centuries. The Counting House is the primary location for banking and currency exchange. If you plan on infiltrating this place, be prepared to face off against stone golems and water elementals. A lawful evil gold dwarf named Rakath is the proprietor of this bank, and you could probably guess that he is associated with the guild. In fact, he is a guild kingpin for the Steeps district. Another notable location here is the Water Queen's house, which is the oldest temple in the city. This house clings to its enormous pier like a monster of the deep, and at the pier's tip is a huge fountain in the shape of a sinking ship that sprays water high into the air. This fountain reminds the faithful of the price of failing to appease Umberlee, who is the evil goddess of the sea. Heading out of the Steeps to the southwest, you'll find yourself in the wealthiest district in the lower city called Bloomridge. This is the district where merchants, landowners, and sea captains lived as they sought a lifestyle more closely resembling that of wealthy upper city patriars. Bloomridge is home to the Smilin Boar restaurant, which is ran by a chaotic good halfling, Gentha, but unfortunately in recent times bodies have begun to appear in the alley behind the Smiling Boar, which in effect has decreased business for the restaurant. To the south of the Smiling Boar is Seskergates, which is now home to the Council of Four's wizard, a human mage named Skund. This mansion is filled with all sorts of magical secrets yet to be discovered. Southwest of Seskergates is Manderkai's mansion, which used to be the home to a wizard named Manderkai. Manderkai, however, shut the manor doors one day, never to be seen again, at least by the public. Those who attempt to find out what's inside this mysterious mansion typically do not emerge back out. The interesting aspect here is that the mansion is known to send out invitations to individuals to visit. These invitations are written in silver on black paper folded into pentagons. Bloomridge also features a Patriar gate in the upper city called Manor Gate. The last district of the lower city is the Seatower district, which houses the western docks. In this district you may find the Hissing Stones, which is a bathhouse known to be a neutral, safe, and private meeting place. Clients that enter the bathhouse must remove all of their weapons, and even the tensest negotiations that are conducted here do not violate the house's rule of no violence. Now we can't forget the Seatower of Balduran, which is the headquarters for the Flaming Fist. This fortress features 5 stout towers and plenty of trebuchets that stand ready to hurl rocks at unwelcome ships. If the giant rocks don't stop invaders, the Flaming Fist can actually raise a chain that stretches across the entire harbor, preventing any ships from entering and also leaving. In addition to the defense of the city, the Seatower also serves as the local prison, and 3 levels of dungeons extend beneath it. Problematic prisoners may actually find themselves in the Swimming Hole, which is a flooded and lightless shaft where prisoners must constantly tread water while also blindly fighting off the biting shrimp that dwell there. If you're not careful with your actions in the city, you may find yourself locked up here in Baldur's Gate 3. Before we head into the upper city, I want to point out the Sewer Keep, which is right here on the map. The Sewer Keep was created as a part of a wide-scale update to the sewage system in the city. This facility is currently run by the Sewer Keep's Thieves Crew. If we find ourselves unable to gain entry into the city, perhaps we can work with this crew to find another less pleasant way into the bustling city streets. The upper city is a place of beauty and splendor, filled with statues, gardens, and gems. It is made up of 4 districts: the Citadel Streets, where the Watch conducts their training and maintains their barracks and stables; the Wide District, which is the primary market district; the Temples District, where grand cathedrals and shrines shape the skyline; and the Manorborn District, which is where the most luxurious residences are. Taking a look back at the Baldur's Gate 3 announcement trailer, you can see this one giant building towering over the city. This building is called Ramizith's Tower and is located in the Temples District. Ramizith's Tower was built by the eccentric wizard Ramizith, who was a sailor that had acquired vast knowledge and equally vast wealth. Not long after the 6-story tower was built, Ramizith died, and the mysterious tower remained empty for decades until it was acquired by a short-tempered mage named Loroakin. Those of you who have exhausted all the BG3 dialogue in the Druid's Grove would know of this name, but I'll leave it at that for this video. Just know that there's already a connection to this tower, and in Baldur's Gate 3's Act 2 or 3, we may find ourselves visiting it. The tower's upper floors contain all sorts of secrets and magical dangerous puzzles that Ramizith mysteriously left behind, and you can actually experience this tower yourself in the original Baldur's Gate game. Very close to Ramizith's Tower is Three Old Kegs, which is a tavern and inn that is popular with current and retired Flaming Fist members. It's actually one of the safest places for visitors to stay in the entirety of the city. South of Three Old Kegs is the center of almost all governmental activity in Baldur's Gate. This place is called High Hall, or should I say Ducal Palace for you OG Baldur's Gate players. This is the place where the Parliament of Peers and the Council of Four meet. Each of the 4 dukes, which make up the Council of 4, also have their luxurious offices located here. Criminal trials, tax counts, and professional guild meetings also take place in the High Hall, and there's a library and a museum. I would say that High Hall is likely to show up in Baldur's Gate 3 not only because of its importance to the ongoings of the city, but it also played an important role in the original Baldur's Gate games. Across the street from High Hall is the Helm and Cloak Inn, and also the residence of Duke Vanthampur, a highly corrupt member of the Council of 4. Beware, as this duke is willing to do just about anything, including worshipping devils of the 9 hells, to aid her in her ultimate goal of becoming the Grand Duke of the city, a position currently held by Alder Ravengard. Heading southeast from here, we have 2 interesting buildings, the Hall of Wonders and the High House of Wonders. The Hall of Wonders serves as a quasi-religious museum for the magnificent inventions wrought in Gond's name. And Gond is the god of craft, smithing, and inventiveness. This museum is meant to showcase Gond's perfected inspirations, and you may see things such as a steam-powered operated mechanical orchestra. Beneath the grand altar in the Hall of Wonders is a complex pressure plate system that opens up a secret passage leading to various safe rooms. Would be a good puzzle for Baldur's Gate 3. The High Hall of Wonders is a vast workshop and is the center of Gond's religion in the city. In this house, inventors work alongside priests and acolytes, and there are a few other places on the Sword Coast where Gond's faithful can have access to more and rarer resources with less oversight. The city cares much more about the cleric's innovations here than the moralization of those creations. Heading north into the Wide District, one of the first places we may come across is called the Unrolling Scroll. This building is built of white marble with an arched roof of vibrant red edged in gold leaf. The Unrolling Scroll is a temple of the god Agma, the Lord of Knowledge. In the northern parts of the Wide, there are two somewhat notable businesses. Distant Shores, which is a business that imports dried meats, spices, and authentic cookware, and also the Harbreeze Bakery, which I briefly mentioned in a recent video. The Harbreeze Bakery is famous for cinnamon cookies and sugar bread loaves, and it's become a cherished neighborhood institution. Ellen Harbreeze, a lawful neutral human, is its proprietor, and anyone seeking gossip knows to come to her for information, as she is present for many interesting conversations. In the final district of the Upper City is the Manorborn district, which is home to several extremely wealthy residents of Baldur's Gate, but there are also several temples located here as well. Ladies' Hall is a temple for the goddess of luck, also known as the Lady of Luck, Tymora. The temple is made of local yellow granite roofed with slate shingles. This temple holds formal religious observance, but its primary purpose is to accept requests and donations from petitioners seeking the temple's intercession. Another noteworthy temple here is the Watchful Shield, which is a shrine for the god of guardians, protection, and protectors, Helm. This temple's services are often attended by members of the Watch, Flaming Fist, and anyone else who may feel the responsibility to protect others. Helm's clerics at the temple provide healing to any willing to make a donation in gold or arms, but they also uphold the tradition of waiving the donation for those who suffer grievous wounds in the course of defending others. And that'll be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.